Alright, the light has gone out in this room, so you're gonna have to bear with me uh, because I haven't changed the light bulb because I'm lazy. So I have like these random little night lamps on whatever, just like lighting up. But I assure you, this shitty lighting is for aesthetic purposes only. Um, Random little rant. I am obsessed with anime box sets. A bit too much, more than I should be. This goes back a while. Back in 2017, like where most of my stories start. Uh, I that was the first summer I started working part time at a grocery store, and I was paid pretty good. I would be bringing in more money than I had ever seen in my life, like every week, because grocery stores pay every week, at least in my area. And like I was just like, well, time to buy a bunch of anime stuff. And this was during the time when I was like re-watching a lot of uh like a very specific era of Digibro After Dark content, and I was obsessed with his room and seeing like a whole wall just full of anime shit. And like I prior to that I had collected a little bit. I had a very small collection. I have a picture of it and I might put it on the screen if I'm not lazy during the editing process. Um, but I had a very small collection, and by a collection I mean like five things that I had bought on Amazon before. I didn't even know what right stuff was, but after I started making money, I decided to start. Like obviously, I was saving some because I couldn't use all of it on anime goods, especially secondhand anime goods aren't going to cost you that much, all things considered. So after putting some into savings, I decided to buy anime stuff because that was really the only thing I buy. I don't buy like clothes or food or like whatever. Like other random little things would be like upgrading my computer or buying new technology stuff. But that's very infrequent because that costs a bit more money. And by a bit, I mean significantly more money. So I would usually use a lot of this to buy anime goods. So I have a collection of stuff, but my main thing right here is anime box sets. Whenever I see a series that I know has a box set for it, and I know that I like the series, I will hunt down those box sets. And sometimes I'll buy a series that I think I will like moderately, just because it has a box set. This one I got, this is the most recent pickup, Angelic Layer. It's another clamp show. I don't think it's going to be that good. Um, but, you know, it's an old ADV box set, the comfiest type of box set. And here I have Onegai Teacher box set here. This series I really like. Also, the soundtrack for this series is really good. It was done by Ive. Ive also had a Denpa project as well. And Kotoko does songs for that. Kotoko also did Denpa singing. But that's a ramble for a different day. I got another box set over here. This one's Last Exile. Let's see here. Last Exile box set. I haven't. Do I have? No, I don't have another one over here. Well, technically, this Two Heart one is a box set, but I don't have the box for it. I was thinking about buying the box because I saw this guy on eBay who's selling the Japanese version of it, just only the box and some of the extras. So I was thinking, hey, might as well put it in there because I can. And this Nadia one is technically a box set, but I don't have the box for it. Box sets mostly have died recently. From what I've gathered, they used to be a bit more prevalent back in the day, especially during the ADV and Genion era. Like Pioneer was in there too. That era where there was more box sets of anime. These days we mostly have collections. Like we get this like Clannad collection, or these when Funimation was doing their. I think they might still be doing like the Anime Classic series. Might have a couple quote-unquote box sets here. These are more collections, not really box sets. They come in a cardboard sleeve too, so they're not really a box set. But Genshiken Season 1 and Season 2, right there. Technically, this Death Note right here is a box set, since it's kind of a box, and it's a set of the entire series. I'm pretty sure this is the official one. Yeah, it's a Viz Media one. But this is my main box sets over here. You're probably not going to be able to see them. So I got stuff like Comic Party, sort of online, the entire series, Aniplex. Yes, that's the Aniplex box. That's the only Aniplex box I got because those are really freaking expensive. Ordinal Scale Special Edition SAO. This one's really nice actually. Let's see if we can see it in the light, but like it sparkles and stuff. And this is cool because it has like a production notes. That's my favorite part about box sets, is that they will come with like little extras, and that's the shit I live for. These little extras that come with the box that make the purchase a bit more worth it, because like all these series, I've seen them before. Well, for the most part. So like I'm buying this box because I like the series a lot, and the more stuff you put into it, the more extras that are in there are gonna make the purchase more worthwhile. If I see a very expensive box set, like this one right here for Ordinal Scale, I think it was like 50 or 60 bucks for just a movie. But if I know that they're gonna be putting in some extras, this one also includes the soundtrack if I remember correctly, then I will be more willing to put up the money for it if I know that I'm going to get a little bit extra. But as it stands, box sets are just something cool that I like to have on my shelf. I like how they look. I like the physicality of them. It's a very, like, I guess, very, like, kind of a retro way of thinking, similar to video game collection. I think this is like the complete in box kind of deal. Where I feel like if you're getting a box set, you're getting the whole like Game Boy or like classic Nintendo cartridge-based consoles. You're getting it complete in box, like the cardboard box you're getting with it, or like a special edition version of a game that you really like. That's how I feel about a box set. Chunibyo Demokoi Gashtai Ren. This one is also a sparkly one. This one has really crappy extras. This is a limited edition. Sentai has been putting them out, and they've been basically the only people doing box sets these days. So like every time I see a box that they have a series that I like I really like Chunibyo. I don't like Ren as much, but I mean I'm gonna go for the box set because I got it fairly affordable when they have them on sale. This one has some pretty crappy extras though. Like I said, it has like a journal in here which will never be used, random little art boards. It does have like keychain and stickers and stuff, but like it's mostly just to have the box. This cool little box to put in here, and then you just like slide it on your shelf, and it's like, hey, look, it really likes this series. I like how it looks on here. Same thing over here, Kimi Nozo, a box set right here. This is an old ADV one. Magi Brilliant Park. I blind bought that one. Now, Flip Flappers I'm going to pull out here because it's a really interesting example, because it includes this really cool hardcover little booklet here, and it includes things. Great, perfect. I opened up right to the page. Right here, it's the ending song storyboard collection, and it's annotated in Japanese, and then down below we have notes in English. And this is interesting for Flip Flappers because it's a show that was, I think, gained a lot of notoriety within like the Sakuga circles because of how well it was produced. So like this is they know who they're aiming this for. It's for people who enjoy the art of animation, so they're gonna have a lot of things in here. And like right here, we have a whole interview with the director. It's fairly lengthy, and then we have like character designs and stuff. And like this isn't thin. Look how much content there is in here. I think the last part is mostly just like art and stuff, but like this is the kind of stuff that I feel like should be standardized within these box sets, or at least should be more widely available, because a lot of these shows do have this material. It's just not really included in English, and that's one of the worst parts about being in this market. That a lot of times this is like a niche within the niche is the people who want this extra stuff, who wants the storyboards to look at. Usually you have to buy an art book like some of the ones I have over there if you want that stuff, if anything, because sometimes they just straight up don't publish them. What else we got here? Gunslinger Girl. I also have Gunslinger Girl El Teatrino. That one is in a box set, but that's by my desk right now. Kino no Tabi. A great series right here. I'm going to pull this one out. This is the one that weirdly sexualizes Kino. I have two more here. Across Plus, this one technically isn't a box set. uh, because it's like in a little cardboard sleeve. And then Diamond Daydreams. This is one of the first box sets I bought. This is what got me started collecting, actually, because this was a series. Let's do a story time, actually. I wrote a blog about this, but most people probably haven't read it. But it was like remembering Diamond Daydreams or something along those lines. But essentially, what happened was we got to go back to the Nya apocalypse. So people who are in the anime torrenting scene know about when Nya.se went down. I think it was like towards the end of April or early May of 2017. Because from what I remember, where the country it was located in, there was some new laws within the EU that stated that like something about that the site would be illegal or something like that, wherever it was being hosted in like the actual country. So the domain was shut down, or like the site owner took it down to avoid any legal conflicts. Uh, and what ended up happening is that like everybody collectively freaked the fuck out because they're like, okay, guys, what do we do now? Because that was the primary source of like anime torrenting, and that's where everything was being uploaded to. So there started to be a couple projects to try to revive it, and during this time, a lot of people were starting to seek alternatives. Because Nia was the biggest. It's kind of like saying YouTube went down, and where do we go? There's obviously going to be other alternatives, but during that time, there's going to be people trying to rebuild the platform. But while it's being rebuilt, there was other ways to download your anime. Obviously, there was like Anime Tosho. Uh, what's some other ones? And then there was like a lot of people trying to get into private trackers. Um, like I was already in Baka BT, but like I remember I've been trying to get into Anime Bytes since 2017, and I haven't gotten in because their invite system is closed, if I remember correctly. But um, like different random little there was like Shana Project or something. Random download sites opened up. But what I ended up doing is um, looking at IRC and the XDCC download method, which you go into an IRC channel and you download anime via commands. You message a bot and you're like, "Hey bot, I want these packages, these files here, here, and here," and you usually download that like in a text document or it's on someone's website. I went to Exiled Destinies um, website and they had their pack list up. They no longer, well, they have a bot now. They have a bot, but um, back then they had their own IRC channel. They don't have their own IRC channel these days. I don't think. I forgot what happened. Like their old bots went down, but now they have new bots that are better. But the new bots might not be in their specific um, IRC channel. Don't quote me on any of this because it's been a while. But anyways, this is a series I was looking for, Diamond Daydreams, because I was really interested in this finding these weird, forgotten anime from the mid 2000s. And what intrigued me the most about Diamond Daydreams is because I was researching a lot of shows, and I was like I said, this very specific type of somewhat melancholic romance drama type show from this era. Uh, and like I saw that Exiled Destiny was one of the people who had released it on DVD. I think the group Frosty fan subbed it, but like sometimes finding old fan subs is really difficult unless you're on private trackers like Baka BT where they archive that stuff. Uh, but the easiest one to get was, and the no-brainer was Exiled Destinies because it was the Blu-ray. It was a DVD rip. Not going to be the best DVD rip in the world, but it's going to be a DVD rip nevertheless. So I went onto their IRC channel. Being a noob, I had no idea what I was doing. I think I might have had a guide open, but I was like mostly just going all in there willy nilly. And like I had the pack list open, and I was like, all right, time to download this series. So I copied the command, and then I copied the file I wanted, and I pasted it into the channel, and I think what happened was I didn't copy the first slash, so it started with a message and then the bot name. And I think someone in the channel said something along the lines of, are you really going to download the series one episode at a time? And I became really self-aware of that because for me, I've always perceived IRC as something that that's like the older generation thing. That's the old fags hang out around there. Like the people who got into anime when fan subbing was a thing. Like they were the people who were joining in the IRC channels when IRC was starting to be used widely for anime fan subbing distribution. So they've been hanging out on that platform for like 15 years or more. Meanwhile, that was the first day I was on there, and I felt like I made a fool of myself. I'm sure nobody cared, because nowadays, like sometimes I will go into an IRC channel to download something via XDCC, because sometimes that's the only way to get it. And I'll see other people sometimes do the same mistake or something, and like you don't really give a shit. But I felt really self-conscious about that, and I immediately left the channel, and I didn't try it again. These days, like downloading stuff from XDCC on IRC channels is really easy, actually. Like now with experience, but I think, like being me back then when I was like 17 or 18 and I had never touched IRC, and I didn't really read the guide I was doing. I just like skimmed through it and I'm like, all right, I could do this. This seems simple enough. Like I should have taken my time and actually checked what I was doing, and if I made a mistake, then whatever, I don't care. The people there probably don't care. But I never downloaded this series, so I ended up just like, well, my first paycheck, I will buy Diamond Daydreams on box set, DVD box set, because the most interesting thing about this is that ADV licensed it back in the day. This was during the time when these companies were licensing everything. If people remember, obviously people remember, Ghost Stories infamously was acquired this way by ADV. That I think I'm 99% sure it was ADV, but they acquired this series just because they were like, it was the kind of thing where they throw everything at a wall and see what sticks. So they were licensing whatever anime they got. These days, it's kind of like returning to that mostly. That a lot of things are getting licensed, but there was a time where that wasn't the case. But this was an interesting period where you'd have random shit like Diamond Daydreams being acquired, or things that you don't really expect would succeed all that well. We're getting like releases on home video, and this one was one of them because I don't think it was very successful, and it was an adaptation of like an all ages Dreamcast dating sim that wasn't really all that popular either. And it's kind of like, it's a forgotten show with a really low production quality, but they gave it the box set treatment, which I find fascinating because usually that's reserved for the better series. But maybe this was like aiming specifically for the collectors. But I don't know what went on in their head. Maybe this was like towards the end of their life and they're like, fuck it, we're gonna license everything. It doesn't matter if it's gonna succeed or not. But that was ADV back in the good old days of the mid 2000s. Yeah, okay. I gotta talk about the last two, the big ones. This has been going on long enough. But the big ones, Lucky Star and Haruhi. Let's look at Lucky Star first. I'm actually gonna pull this out and hopefully I don't break anything. Let's see here. Put the camera down. Alright, Lucky Star box set. This right here, this was my holy grail, dude. I ended up getting it last summer, not even that expensive. But like, this fucking box set, this is like the box set to end all box sets for me. Because, like, I love Lucky Star so much, I needed to get it. By the way, I love this picture. I love this picture. Tsukasa looks so adorable. Miyuki, she's like stretching, and like Konata is just like bang. And then Kagami. Alright, my iPod died mid-filming that. So hopefully that saves. If that doesn't save, then I'll just upload this second half to the side channel. Lucky Star. This is my Holy Grail box set. I didn't even pay that much for it, but let's have a look. Lovely sisters in the back. More art. There's art everywhere. This is the best show. I didn't get the extras with it, unfortunately. I don't have the t-shirt, but like this t-shirts aren't even that good. Oh, open this bad boy up. Ooh, what do we got here? We got Lucky Star DVD, and we'll get to that in a second. But I have volumes 1 through 5. Volume 6 is notoriously hard to find. That's the end of the series. I think it's the last 4-ish episodes. But instead, I end up buying the Essentials collection from Right Stuff a while back. This is the Funimation release on Blu-ray. Yeah, I mean, like I just stick it in here because it's like, well, I could watch most of the show on DVD, but got the Blu-ray there. Though truthfully, I much prefer the fan sub for this. But like, it's just something I need to own because this is a show that I care so much about that I need to get this. It's like the Grail. I have to have it somewhere on my collection because it's a show that I care very deeply about. It's also because I'm very paranoid about losing data. Because I used to distro hop a lot back in the day with Linux, and I would always be losing my data because I was an idiot and I didn't back up anything. So I'd always be re-downloading shit. But even now, I have my hard drives backed up and everything. I gotta knock on wood here, because knowing my luck, they would fail right now. But I don't want to jinx anything. But I'm always living in constant fear that like all my hard drives would just die, and I'll have no data whatsoever. All the fucking 6 terabytes or more of anime gone. So like I feel that if I know that the series is good, I'll buy it on disc, which is kind of funny because disc rot is a thing. I don't know how much it affects anime, but I know within the realm of video games it's starting to become more of an issue. But like I like to collect it in the box set or just on disc in general because like I said, I'm living in constant fear of my hard drives failing, or in the offhand chance that one day I decide to go fuck off to the woods, or I end up in a situation where I'm living on my own. I'm not going to pay for the internet. I enjoy using the internet, but not enough to pay for it. Like if push comes to shove and I have to live alone or something, or like my one of my plans is to go just like I said, fuck off to the woods, live in a cabin or something. I'm not going to pay for internet. I will just be watching anime on DVD without any distractions. It will be really based, I think. Tentative plan, but we'll see how that works out. We'll come back to that in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, something along those lines. Escape the whole city thing. Last box set here. We got Suiginto on top protecting it. This is my Haruhi box set, one of my recent acquisitions. This was like not the last Grail, but one of the other important ones. This one and the Lucky Star box set go kind of hand in hand because they were both released by... Who was it? I'm gonna have to look at it. Bandai. It was Bandai. It was a Bandai box set, and they went all out with these two series because they were like the otaku thing at the time. And what do otaku do? Be idiots and spend a lot of money on a cardboard box with DVDs in it. But I had to have this one because I love Haruhi a lot as well. This one has all the episodes that matter are in here from the 2006 series. And got the little tray in here. Got the audio disc. I'm not going to pull them out because like they should have put this little ribbon in here. But these are complete and sealed. I got this whole for like $30, which was a steal. I don't think these are sealed, but they're very good condition. And I also have the normal updated DVD somewhere over here, right here. But I am obsessed with box sets. It's kind of like, it's one of those things that's not really the most cost-effective thing to do. But I really like to have them because it's just something about them. It's like the premium feel of it, the whole like collectors, like the allure for collectors to have a box displayed on their shelf be something more that they could show. That like I really care about this show, I need to go all out, or I want the extras that come with it, so I want to pay more for it. Or just like the whole idea of just having the box and then you can have the outside artwork facing you. It just looks cool. It's like the premium look. It's a special edition. Like I don't really buy special editions for games. I don't think I have any special editions actually. Actually, wait, Pokemon Soul Silver I have the special edition for. Though I think it might just be the regular edition, the one with the Pokewalker. But I digress. It's like it's just something cool to have. It's the thing for collectors. That's how they get you. That's how they swindle otaku into spending their well earned money on anime box sets. But I love them. This was a weird ramble about them. Thanks for watching.